What is up? Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. What's going on, Bears fans? It is the Wednesday of game week. The practice week has officially begun. And we got a reunion episode going on here.
This is so damn exciting. Look at that smiling, amazing, breaking news somehow gets let into Soldier Field when no one else does face. How does he do it? He's our hero, man. Look at him.
Hey, man, it's like the reunion of the beat with my boys, man. Appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, I just kind of rolled up to Soldier Field yesterday and was like, let me in and see what you guys are doing. Plus, I got a camera with me, and next thing you know, I'm trying to be like Chicago's Adam Schefter. I saw, Hoge, real quick though, I saw you posted whoever's story it was, like someone was taking pictures inside of all the stuff, and so I was like I saw the side, and I was like, I got to make sure that people are getting the real facts of what's actually going on. So, got a few phone calls, and we got new side at Soldier Field.
You basically did what I should have been doing yesterday. So congrats to you.
Hoge also, like the first text that I got yesterday is, we need to find the dude to put in that sod.
Yeah.
But we couldn't find him, so we found you, JP,
well,
which is better.
I did find him. It's just, only certain people are allowed to talk to him, apparently, and Jarrett Payton is one of them. Look, when your dad has a statue outside the building, they better let you in.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We can't talk to the sod guy.
Hey.
What, is he going to give secrets on sod?
This ain't the sod father who's just, ready to go at any moment.
I mean, I'd rather talk to Jarrett, but come on.
It's all good. Great job with the story, JP. He's got all the information. The Bears have a new Bermuda grass field going in. Don't know how this is going to work in the Midwest. But, hey, tell us what you learned.
So I learned a lot yesterday just about like how everything kind of came about, right? Well, to me, the interesting part of the story was, shouts out to Tim Lefevre from Soldier Field. He gave me a call like a week and a half ago saying that this was going down and that he wanted to kind of give me the exclusive. And I said, man, I'm honored. Like, it's pretty cool. I'm like, so how is this happening? He said Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles were, looking at the turf throughout, the preseason, the games that they played there, to then wanting to switch up the sod just because with Eberflus and what he saw in that Bermuda grass that was, in Indy and how it kind of worked out on the practice field, he wanted it to bring it to Soldier Field. And so Soldier Field was like, let's do it. And thinking of the cost, this is about the time that they reside anyway. So the cost is, and I put it in the story, it's about $500,000, but it's not like anything that's crazier than what they would do normally with the old Kentucky bluegrass, but also that the shipping from North Carolina, other than the East Coast, it's going to kind of cut down on some of that cost as well. So for the Bears, everybody was thinking that it's a short turnaround time, right? Well, they started on Monday and Tuesday to then now rolling out that 40 tons of sand that they're putting down today and rolling it out to be ready for Sunday. And the way that the grass is, and how they cut it, they don't just like slice it, and they cut it in a way where it's once they lay it down, those roots start growing this way. And it just was so interesting to see the process yesterday, to be there, to run on it. And I think that's where I got the biggest takeaway from the grass was walking on it and actually running on it. So I wasn't running just to like get, views. I was running on it because I was like, I played on this grass before. I knew the difference. It felt like when I was in Tennessee with the Titans, like they had Bermuda grass as well. So to run on it, there's like a bounce to it. There's like you could see me at the end of the video when I'm coming back and I'm slowing down. I'm feeling that bounce, and it's got something. I didn't have cleats on, but I think the guys on Sunday are definitely going to probably enjoy this a lot more. And then in the winter months, they're going to have to throw rye on it to hopefully keep it staying up. And yeah, it's going to turn. You'll see it turn a little brown, and it's going to. People are going to look at it that way, but they're going to do everything that they can to be able to make sure that that surface is the best for the Bears this season.
So let me get this straight. All these years, no one could figure this out. Flus and Poles get in here. Let's try out this Bermuda thing, because this is complete BS that we're playing on whatever the hell this is. And voila, done and done. And by the way, let's get JP in here, WGN Channel 9, and he can run around and everybody can get excited about it. It just seemed almost too easy, right?
Well, okay, but there's some real science here that certainly, only turf expert JP here.
Did you see the way he just broke down the way the roots expand?
But it's true. I'm being serious, JP. This is a really good job by you and the WGN crew to get this information, because I was wondering how it all works. And so there's this company. This is new. It's called Tahoma 31. It's a new type of Bermuda grass. The way they grow it, with like the way they put it on the plastic, it tighten so instead of cutting the roots, they like grow horizontally, essentially. So the roots.
And hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold up. Yeah, Adam. So okay, I left this part out. So the way that when it's actually it's wrapped in on this plastic. So for like 4 to 6 months. So when it rolls out, it's crazy the way that it all happens. I mean, they had 38 tractor trailers bringing all of the new grass from North Carolina to here, and the process of rolling it down. So just the fact, I never knew that they had this plastic on it after it was dug up. It had the plastic on it for 4 to 6 months, which keeps it kind of the same way. And so they said that the way that they're laying it down and the way that the grass is matured now, it is going to be perfect. So for right now, they'll have to, take care of it like they always do, or resod at some point, but it's a summer grass. It's going to be good for right now, and it's perfect the way that they're laying it down. That was what I was told.
And let me tell you, one of the joys of the years I did Northwestern sidelines is being down there on the field. Like when we went to Orlando, for example, or I think Tampa probably too has Bermuda grass. When you go to those stadiums in the South and you see like how another difference is how thinly cut it is, right? So it's like some of these places, like it feels like it's turf even though it's natural grass, because it's just it's cut down so much.
I mean, don't golf courses advertise we've got Bermuda or bent fairway grass? Is it the same thing that we're dealing with here? I am not a grass expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm very amazed by both of you guys right now going deep into the way the roots are situated. The only thing I know is that for me and Poppy the puppy, when I was trying to train the dog on a balcony in Chicago, we got some grass that was laid down on the balcony so she could do her thing and not have to go down 17 floors, which I don't know how that brings back to what the Bears are doing.
Real grass or...
It was real grass. We got Poppy the puppy, the good stuff, man, so she could do her thing.
I don't think sod takes to a porch.
It does for a couple of days.
Okay.
It works for 7 days, and then you got to replace that thing or something. I don't know. Listen, I know what you're talking about, and by just speaking of Northwestern, I was just in Ireland, and they laid down brand new grass. We saw them laying it down. They had the rollers and the whole thing, and that thing was in pristine condition. So, JP, are you telling me that you think this thing is ready to go Sunday, Niners, and we're not going to see the whole thing get ripped apart?
Yeah. I mean, from talking to the experts there, I really think that it's going to hold up. Now, the other thing is, listening to Tom Skilling last night on the 9 o'clock news. He was saying that there's potential of rain for Sunday too. So I don't know if that throws anything into it, but man, these guys, this is what they do. And I'm not a grass person either. I don't even cut my own grass, man. I pay somebody to do that. I'm just telling both you guys and all the fans that are listening. So for me, this was kind of like a crash course. It was also just interesting to me because as a player, you don't really think about it. Now, Cairo Santos, that's who I want to hear. I want to hear what he has to say, because he's been really critical of the turf at Soldier Field when it comes to the old Kentucky bluegrass. And ever since, AstroTurf was taken up that my dad played on early in his career, it's only been Kentucky bluegrass at Soldier Field. So this is something that's totally new. And I think only time will tell as we watch and go through this season. But I know in Kansas City last season that they also had this Bermuda grass. That the Tahoma 31 is the type of grass that is going in at Soldier Field, and it lasted them through the year, and it didn't tear up. And the kind of cold, the elements there get cold as well. So I think for all of us, it's just going to be interesting to see as the season goes on how the turf kind of plays itself out. And listen to one thing I took away, listen to the guys if they say anything that are playing on the field and not always the visual from watching on TV. We might see certain things or from looking at the broadcast or being at a game and listening to these guys that actually do this. It's not always the case that the turf is not in a good place. So that's one thing that I'm going to be watching as well.
JP, a bunch of people in the comments are saying, hey, we won't have to worry about this when the team moves to Arlington Heights and just be turf. So much of your life has been about Soldier Field. So many memories, so many times there from being a kid, being a player, being in the media. Where do you stand on the Bears moving to Arlington Heights and potentially having a brand new stadium elsewhere?
Great question, JP. Please show me some heart here, please.
Well, this is a weird situation because a couple of weeks ago, I'm just going to say it, Mayor Lightfoot reached out and wanted to have a sit down with me. Isn't that kind of weird? Like normally it would be me going to sit down with her saying let's talk about this. She wanted to talk to me about it. So I was ready.
JP, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I got to interrupt you. The mayor called Jarrett Payton to sit down with JP to try to figure this out. That you are the GOAT. Forget about MJ, whoever you want to name, Tiger. The mayor is calling JP to figure out how to do this. By the way, sweet tap, that's awesome.
Well,
what does she want to know?
We don't really know. And it was interesting to me that she reached out to WGN and wanted to have a conversation, to have a sit down, because I think she knows that my family, the legacy, everything that goes along with, my father and what he did at Soldier Field and our ties to Soldier Field, the father's statues outside of Soldier Field. It's the place that I always say is my dad's second home, especially on Sundays, and where he did some of his best work. But yeah, I think she wanted to have that conversation. But I was going to be ready for anything that she threw my way, because I knew that something would come up at some point, like maybe that type of question. Like, what would your dad say if the Bears were going to move to Arlington Heights? Yeah. I'm going to give you guys this. Arlington Heights is where I was born and raised. It was also the place where I was raised till I was 4 years old until I moved to South Barrington. It's the place that my dad, not too far from our house and not too far from Arlington Park, that my dad kind of developed his training routine to become the best all-around football player that I've ever seen. And that was on the Hill, which is now Nickel Knoll, which people are golfing on now, and has a 34 at some place on that course where you can see, and a stone with his name on it, where he would run up and down that hill to. I went to school at St. Viator High School in Arlington Heights. My connection to Arlington Heights is so strong. My connection to the city of Chicago and what they mean to my father is so strong as well. But when it comes to this situation, I am all for what's best for the Chicago Bears. Whatever's best for this organization moving forward, that's what I'm about. So if they're on this track and saying that this is what they want to do, this is the direction they're going, I'm behind the McCaskies and saying, let's go. I'm with you guys, because as much as I think about the history that's been made for the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, I'm all for that. But doesn't mean, man, in my life, doesn't mean you can't make new history. right? I mean, like, I'm all for what the future is. And you guys know this. I've traveled every single year, like, to go to Super Bowls, to hand out the Man of the Year award. Last year, SoFi, and this last past Super Bowl. And it just was something different, man. It's like, holy cow, look what they have here. It's like, whoa, a YouTube theater. Like, what is this? And all these new bells and whistles. And man, maybe that's what the Bears want. And so I'm not going to just hold on to everything which is tradition. And I get that. I'm all for that. But if it's something new and they're building something, this could take this organization to a whole nother stratosphere when you think about it. We looked at the Forbes report of where these teams are ranked and valued, right? I mean, we're talking about a team that's valued over $5 billion and they don't own their own stadium. Could you imagine if they had the opportunity to build this? So I'm behind the Bears of whatever they want to do, and yeah, I really do. I just saw the comment, JP replacing Ted Phillips or JP for mayor. I don't know if my wife, JP for president.
President of the
Let's
Bears
just,
is what they're saying.
I know.
And then we call the stadium Walter Payton Stadium.
No. You know why? All I really want, honestly, is I just want to make sure that I'm saying a lot on this on CHGO today. I want the statue to make sure where the statue is going to be. Like, that's like my biggest concern through all
That it
this.
stays at
It's
Soldier
like
Field.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we haven't thought about that. We haven't even talked about it. But I'm up for seeing what they could build in Arlington Heights. And I'm thinking, for as a fan, you guys know this, I don't go to games as a fan. So if I'm ever going to a game, it's going to work. But talking to got people that I know that go, and season ticket holders, there always seems to be something about, how everything is structured, of like tailgating and all that stuff. This would alleviate all that, I think, of having, your own a big stadium and parking lots. People want to tailgate and the experience. And I've seen people tweet that, maybe they should have, a Hall of Fame for the Bears and this and that, a district where you can go eat and sports bars. All that, to me, I want to see what that's like, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Listen,
come on.
JP, let me just say this for 34, for 51, for 99, for 87, all of them. 9. I know you're still close with Jim McMahon. Let's throw him in here too, because hell, that we don't have a lot of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks around here. And I know that Jim wasn't perfect, but at any rate, I live in the South Loop right now. I walked over to Soldier Field about 2 months ago and just took a walk around. One of the first things that I see when you do that walk from the 18th Street Bridge coming across, and everybody talks about how hard it is to get there. Ain't going to be any easier to get to Arlington Heights. I'm sorry, it's not.
I know. I'm
okay.
not saying that I'm not saying that it's going to be. I'm saying once you're there, though.
No, I get it,
like
but my point is that when I'm walking,
the infrastructure definitely will have to. They're 53, which is in the area that I still go to and drive through a lot, going to soccer games with my kids. Yes, as of right now, the way that it's structured for cars, it would have to be bumped up and a little bit more robust to be able to handle what's going to happen on a game day for the Chicago Bears. But yeah, you start thinking of the possibilities, you guys. Like Adam was saying, Walter Payton Stadium. No, but just think about the naming rights and what that can mean for, And if this is an opportunity to make this organization better, like, I'm not worried about. Everybody's worried about all this other stuff about history. Dude, I want to win football games. Okay,
the way I put it, JP, we can still honor the Bears' history.
Yes.
We don't have to live in the past. That's the big thing. This organization needs to move forward.
Listen, I get all that, but if you're telling me that somehow, some way, we could put a weird, bizarre dome, retractable roof on Soldier Field, and that the mayor is calling JP, is actually really interested in doing that, I don't care what it looks like. I would way rather have the Bears.
Yeah, but Carm,
Yeah.
stop, man.
Why?
Because they don't own the stadium, bro.
So figure it out. We'll work a deal.
What do you mean figure it out? No,
Yes.
dude, I am partaking in so many new businesses. I have one restaurant, a new restaurant that's being built right now that we're hopefully open by this fall. And dude, ownership is everything, dude. Like, if you don't own, like, what are you really doing? Like,
Give the team ownership.
It's the same thing that my dad always told me back in the day, which is funny because now I get it. He was like, dude, don't invest in cars. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, but Dad, you have all these cars, but he's got money. He had money to do that. He could just go, and he was who he is, so people would just give him cars. So he wasn't even buying these. But as a kid, you're like, how do you have all these cars? He would tell me, dude, invest in land and property. Make sure you're doing that. Like, make sure. And I'm like, now owning my house, all this stuff. Like, I get it now. They're paying rent. Like,
yes. And now they're finally going to own really valuable property where they can do something.
If that sets up something for this organization where it's giving it's better for the players and the facilities and everything else that's going on. Like, if that's what it's all about, I'm all for it because I love talking about the '85 Bears. It's my favorite team of all time, and I love it. But if that's the history that we're all just going to keep holding on to forever, dude, my dad would always say, like, someone has to come and either break my record or another team's going to come and win a Super Bowl here in Chicago to add on to the greatness of this organization or add on to the greatness of the NFL, greatness to the running backs. Like, and for me, let's go back. Emmitt Smith, when he broke my dad's record, I was ticked off, dude. Like, I was so mad. I didn't want to go to the game. They invited me. Now, Emmitt and I have a wonderful relationship now, but I had to think in my head, what'd your dad say? Just, you got to let go. Like, records are made to be broken. Change is here. And if we can't embrace change, dude, what are we doing? Like, we can't stay the same because what we've been doing for forever is holding on to something that was so great, but we got to start focusing on how to change this. And to me, a breath of fresh air has been Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus.
JP gets it. President of the Bears. I'm telling you.
Okay, listen, and I know we want to move on. To everybody who's in the chat who's calling me a meatball, or meathead, or meat whatever, I have heart and
meat whatever
and history, so that's where that comes from. And have I ever been to Soldier Field? Hello, I was at the old Soldier Field. I was at the new Soldier Field. I've walked the steps as a worker, as at selling beer. Don't come down that street at me.
Okay, all right, JP. This feels good, by the way. This feels like a reunion show that's like rivals the Friends reunion a couple years ago, which was excellent. Real quick, because we've already kept you longer than we said we would. What do you think about Sunday? What about football? What do you think about Sunday's game?
I've been going back and forth, and I was having the conversation yesterday with Robert Mays, and we were just talking. And I interviewed him for GN Sports yesterday, and I asked him, like, so I've been asking everybody because we don't have a lot of football to talk about. So I was like, so what do you think? How's the season going to go? And he was like, he thinks that they're really going to be bad. And I was like, whoa, well, I understand that, where people are coming from. I mean, out the gate, you got two quarterbacks that really have to prove themselves, right? And one that here in Chicago that we all know with Justin Fields, everybody is talking about that they don't have enough weapons around him. They didn't do enough to be able to put some studs around him. I think we I don't know. I wasn't surprised by that because I kind of had a vision of what Ryan Poles was doing for this season. And then I look on the flip side of things to Trey Lance, and I'm like, he's got so much to prove as well. The only thing is man, he's got some weapons, and defensively they're set up too. So that 49ers team is a team that people are talking about getting to the NFC Championship game. And then on the flip side, you have a Bears team that people aren't giving a lot of credit to, saying they're going to win 5, 6, maybe 7 games. When out the gate, I want to go with my heart and say that this is going to be. I feel like in my heart, Justin can outplay Trey Lance. I think when you have a guy like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, some other offensive weapons, those guys can be game changers. And it's hard for me to look at this Bears roster and what we've seen in the preseason. If you're just going to go off of that Browns game, unbelievable. Probably the best game that I've ever seen Justin play as a pro so far. Now he's got to be able to translate that into when the ones are on the field as well. And that's every single play. I think it's going to be a hard out the gate. In my heart, I don't know if they win game 1. I think it's going to be tough. And then game 2, we all know that's going to be a tough one as well. And as of right now, I have the Bears 2-2 in the first 4 games.
We're waiting on the captain. Yeah, that would be amazing if they get to 2-2. All right. I mean, we're waiting on the captains of JJP and
No, we got the captains.
We do?
Oh yeah.
Who we got?
Matt Eberflus talking right now. Justin Fields, Roquan Smith, Cody Whitehair, Robert Quinn are your 4 season-long captains.
Wow.
Your honorary captain for this week is David Montgomery.
Wow. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. The Justin doesn't surprise me at all. And saying all that stuff about where they are this year, let me just say this to the Bears fans out there. I look at this as Justin's rookie year. That's how I look at it. You have a new regime. I'm super excited for what is to come for Justin because I've always been a believer. I think he has the potential to be super special. I look at some of these other quarterbacks around the league, these young quarterbacks. I love what he brings to the table. I love all his attributes. I like his ability. I love how smart he is. I think having a guy like Luke Getsy is going to be so beneficial for him. And I know I think it was John Greenberg and Potsy were coming at me saying that, I tweeted something saying that it's just what the doctor ordered and that we've said that before about other quarterbacks. But, dude, when have we had a dude like Justin Fields here in Chicago? Like his ability. Like, I've never seen anybody like that. Not that I saw in college play in like some of the most monstrous games and ball out. Going to Ohio State and what he did there. And I know he always had a lot of weapons around him there. But the kid is smart. He's special. He's got something. It's a reason why he's a captain for the year. I think he has the potential to be special. So to watch how they build this year, the connection with Mooney, him, and also with Cole Kmet, I think that's going to be super fun to watch. You guys know how I feel about David Montgomery, man. He's the heart and soul of that ball club. And to see him, Adam, you've been around. From when he put on a Bears jersey from day one, how quiet he was, to now being this guy that speaks for the locker room. You want his sound bite. I'm so proud of him, man. Like, super proud to see what kind of leader he's become. Dude, the Roquan Smith thing just kind of tilts me a little bit. There was a lot going on there, but it speaks volumes to who he was and what the guys inside that locker room. And you can't take away the one thing that I've been saying this whole entire preseason. He's the best player on that roster. I really believe that this whole thing going between these two, with the two sides, dude, we all know Roquan needs to get paid. I get it. I'm in his corner as a former player. I want him to get his money. But also as well, you got a new regime that just came in here. They're trying to change things up a little bit, and they want to see what you can do in their defense. And I think if he locks in, he can stay healthy. Both you guys probably know, I think he could be really special in this defense. And he could maybe even command more money than he was looking for. So I really do, with the teachings and really learning of what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. Shouts out to Robert Quinn. I just hope he has the opportunity. I mean, double-digit sacks. If he can just get anywhere, 10 sacks, like 11 sacks, to me, that's another solid year for him. And shout out to Cody Whitehair, man, on that offensive line doing what he does. And I can't wait. That's what I'm going to be watching on Sunday, is watching this offensive line, seeing how they're going about their business, watching my man Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, seeing how these young guys, like, if they can get that nastiness inside of them. Because anytime a running back, David Montgomery was talking about Tevin Jenkins a couple weeks ago. You remember, Adam? And he's talking about how nasty he is. If a running back is saying that, you better listen. Because running backs don't just give credit to offensive linemen. You give it to them as a whole, as a unit. When they single one out and they tell you about what kind of person they are, take note. I'm telling everybody, just take note. So
that means
watch
he wants to run behind him. That means he wants to run right behind that guy.
Yes,
so I love
he's saying, I want to go that way. So I'm all for it. But, hey, man, just invest in this season like we always do as Bears fans, you guys. And to me, it's all about the development. It's watching some of these young guys, some of these guys that were just drafted, Bayless Jones, these guys, seeing if they can take that next step and see if they can become building blocks for this organization, because I'm looking for the next 3 drafts, like what Ryan Poles can do, and with some more draft capital, what he can do in free agency and have a little bit more cap space and more money to spend, and see what he can build, because there's already a different mindset with that hits philosophy, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where you either watch, and I wasn't at practice a lot, but I watched all the film of watching them warm up and running to the football. But you can see how that translates over, especially on the defensive side, when they're playing on the field. And I think for me, seeing a more disciplined football team, that's what we're seeing now, because Matt Eberflus is holding dudes accountable, and you do not want to be that dude that messes up on film when you're watching film with everybody. So everybody's on their best behavior, and they're taking in everything that he's coaching, and all the coaches. And to me, if you can be a good disciplined team, that can win you games down the line when those close games do come, because you're not having penalties, false starts, all that stuff. You're taking care of the football. You win the turnover battle. Those right there can win you games, especially close games. And for me, if that's what they're building right now, that right there is giving me a lot of hope, and also warms my heart that this organization is moving in the right direction. Only time will tell, though, once they get onto the football field.
All right, Jarrett. Love having you on always.
JP!
Good to have the 3 of us back together.
Great to see you.
Hey, show everybody that sweatshirt, dude. Oh. Okay, trophy.
The Lombardi.
Yeah. You know I got to stunt with this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see this every single day, you know?
No, we don't. That's the problem.
I mean, that's sweet, but will you show the T-shirt that you're wearing, too? Can you show the T?
I mean, I got this. You know, I got this. Shouts out to Roots of Fight, the sweetness. You can go find it there. He's on everywhere, dude. He's my motivation, man. He should be everybody's motivation. It's like, he's sweetness.
You're my motivation, JP.
I'm NutraSweet, man. I'm NutraSweet. If he's sweetness, I'm NutraSweet. It's what it is.
It's one of my favorite things about JP. When I first met you, however many years ago it was, 10 years ago now, I was like, I wonder if I can ask him a question about 34. Will he mind? And like the first, you could talk about my dad as much as you want. I never get tired of talking about him, and I love it. I love it to the end of the year.
Before I go, and I know I got to get out with you guys, but it's good to see you guys together. Carm, I love seeing you on CHGO, man. I love it. You two together. I've had a chance to work with both of you guys as a what do you call it? Three amigos, and all of us together. Seeing you guys work together. You guys are great on radio, but to see you guys doing it right here in this kind of forum, it's refreshing, man. So keep doing what you guys are doing. Anytime you need me, just holler at me.
I love you, brother.
All right. Love you, man. NutraSweet, out.
You too. I'm out. Peace. Bear down.
He's the best.
JP is excited.
Yeah.
He is excited for game 1. We all are, but that was some good Jarrett Payton.
All right. I know everyone's talking about how there's the press conferences going on. We're going to recap everything. The captains, Justin Fields, Roquan Smith, Cody Whitehair, Robert Quinn, David Montgomery just this week. The other 4 are season long. Let's start with the headline, though, which we knew a couple days ago. But just the idea that there are season-long captains. Again, just another thing that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting. Team voted, players voted.
Yeah, this is a player vote, according to Matt Eberflus.
So That is a stamp of approval for the quarterback. That is a stamp of approval for the linebacker on a 1-year deal. That is a stamp of approval for the guy who didn't come to minicamp and his veteran leadership, and everybody loves Robert Quinn and his quirky personality. And Flus was talking earlier this week about when he walks into the room that you can just feel his presence, which I really enjoy Robert Quinn. And the Cody Whitehair thing, to me, is a little bit interesting because you've got, at least on that side of the ball, you've got, and he's honorary this week, but Demo and Darnell Mooney, they're in front of the media all the time. So
I like having an offensive lineman as a captain, though. Sets the tone.
Sure.
Sets the tone up front.
He's there to protect. I get it. So, but that's a big. They all should feel good about that. Bottom line.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
I feel like you had a lot of angst in there that you wanted to get out about the stadium.
I mean, apparently people just don't want to hear it. Like,
do you have a reason that,
listen,
like a practical reason that doesn't have to do with something from 30 years ago?
Well, first of all, there's a couple things. Number one, getting a new stadium does not mean that the Bears are going to start winning games. That is ridiculous logic. Oh, we're going to get this sweet stadium, and they're going to have more money. They have the salary cap is the salary cap. It's not going to impact.
I agree with you on that. For the same thing on the opposite side is that Soldier Field does not help you win games either. Anybody who claims that the weather does is just wrong.
I'm not
saying you are, but people do say that.
I'm not saying that bear weather has anything to do with winning games, but there is a level of bear weather tradition that I do like about the franchise. But that's not the reason. Listen, maybe honestly, this might just be an old fight for me that I'm still beyond hurt inside that Chicago Stadium, the greatest place on earth, got torn down for what's fine, the United Center, but it's Chicago Stadium was like, that was my childhood. That was the place. Like that's gone. For you, you got pictures of young Adam Hoge with Papa Hoge out there at Old Comiskey. That place never got the love that it deserved. They didn't take care of it.
It was a shithole. It didn't need to be knocked down.
But for the new Comiskey.
But I'm with you on that. They didn't get and that's the thing. Like it's okay to move on from the old stadium, but you got to get the new one right. And so this is where. So I get what you're saying. You're talking about building traditions, okay? Yeah. And I just think that, and I'm there at all these games, I think the traditions right now are just stale. And part of that is just because they just don't win enough. But I look at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, okay, and the things that they've built in a very short time there, which, by the way, you know what's nicer than sitting out in the freezing cold? Yeah, when it's negative 5 degrees wind chill outside? Sitting in a nice, warm stadium where you can enjoy your beer and get your nachos and have some space around you because there's a little bit more space. But in a very short time, they got the skull clap they do, okay? Yeah. The horn thing that they do. Do you know how loud? Thank you, Lawrence. Do you know how loud? I got the opportunity to go to because I've been there a bunch covering games. I went as a fan to the Packers-Vikings game, a neutral fan, Monday Night Football. NFC North title on the line a couple years ago. That stadium was so loud, which would people who are like, we can't have a roof, forget how loud the stadium could be with a roof.
Okay, greatest argument.
That's a real home field advantage, by the way, as opposed to the 3 times every 20 years it's negative 5 degrees out, and the Cowboys happen to be the opponent.
Listen, somebody who does not like to bend, let alone on a live podcast. What you just sold there was a phenomenal selling point. A loud, true, domed-in Bear crowd going nuts. I can get on board with that. I feel you. That would be a win in this whole thing. However, let me rewind back to things that are not a win. Okay, the Bears are saying that they're going to build the stadium. They're not asking for any money around that, but they're asking money for around everything else. No. Enough with taxpayers footing the bills for these stadiums. This is not Milwaukee. This is Chicago.
It's actually Arlington Heights.
Right, well, to be Arlington Heights, that's fine. But listen, I get it when a city has to pay up to keep a sports team because you know what? The Milwaukee Bucks can move somewhere else. But there will be football teams dying to come into Chicago. You think the Jacksonville Jaguars want to be in Jacksonville versus coming to being a Chicago Bears franchise? We have the city, whatever, Arlington Heights, you have leverage here. So if the Bears want to do this and build out some incredible complex with hotels and housing and fitness and gambling, and then you put the money into it, and if the city, that's.
I get where you're coming from on like the Chicago aspect to it, but does anyone other than does anyone really associate? Do people still consider the 49ers to be the San Francisco 49ers? They play an hour and a half away.
But we can't. Okay,
the Cowboys are.
I'm not
the Giants and the Jets, which would be probably the best example because you're talking about a big city with a bunch of sports history, play in a different state.
I got it. Yes, that's all true. And they're still going to be the Chicago Bears. I'm not going to sit there like, now they're the Arlington Heights Bears. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. But I just like the Bears on the lakefront, man.
Okay.
I like going over there. I like looking out.
That's an okay argument. I'm cool with that.
I like them in the city. I enjoy the city. I'm not one of those people like, the city's too dangerous, can't go down there. No. I live in the city. Where we're at right now is in the city. I love the fact that I got on the green line from the South Loop to ride over to CHGO today in the West Loop. I am a city person.
Yeah, but you can't even take the CTA to get to Soldier Field. You still got to walk like a mile and a half.
What do you mean?
It's the worst. You come down the red line.
No, you're wrong about this.
You get off at Roosevelt.
Is not fun.
Yeah, you get off at Roosevelt and you got to walk like a mile
or
and a half.
catch a bus.
Yeah,
connect to a bus.
Okay, no. Okay, you're. What am I dealing with? Two prima donnas here? You can't walk from Roosevelt underneath and go see the beautiful, outstanding dinosaur and walk by the Field Museum.
Nobody's saying we can't. We're just acknowledging the fact that it's at least a mile walk.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hoof.
On a straight line, it's not, but the way they make you wind around through the museum campus and under the things and
right.
Whereas if you're playing in Arlington Heights, there's a Metro stop right there.
There's also a Metro stop right at 18th Street. There's a Metro stop right there,
argument,
my friend.
I am willing to totally listen to the criticisms about the transportation. That is a fair thing. One Highway 53 going by the stadium is not going to be enough. They got to fix all that. But I'm also speaking as somebody who grew up from the city and regularly got on the Metro to go to Arlington Park with my family to go see the racehorse. It's not that hard.
It's not, but you're not talking about the same crowd to go see Early Fires or whoever you were betting on back in the day. You like that one, Lauren said? That's right. I'll throw jockeys out from back in the day. Pat Day.
Oh, man, that's
There's probably no way to prove this, but I bet you that from where my house was, the amount of time it would have taken me to get to the Clybourne Metro stop to Arlington Heights would probably be about the same time as it would have been to go to the L, take it down to Roosevelt, and then walk over to Soldier Field.
It's not enormously different. I put in because yesterday I drove over here because it was the first day and I was nervous and I just wanted to get here as soon as possible. Today I was like, all right.
And then you were locked out for an hour.
Yeah, right. And then I was locked out. Which was fine. And then today I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ride the L over. I got a good parking spot, and I put it in 35 minutes for me to walk from 14th in Michigan to the Roosevelt L, to get on the green line, to go through the loop, to come in, and then to get off at Morgan and to walk over. 35 minutes. You're right. It's not. There isn't. The time aspect of getting out to the suburbs is overrated. But the other thing is, how many Metro trains are going to be going out there? 7,000 Metro trains.
No, I'm like I said, they got a lot of questions to answer when it comes to getting to the stadium. I'm totally on board with you on that. But it's got to be better than what it is now.
Listen, it's not. It's if they had torn down Wrigley Field, I might have literally, just like, I don't know, chained myself to the bleachers like that. That cannot happen. You cannot get rid of Wrigley. Soldier Field is not in the same pantheon of what Wrigley. And by the way, aren't we happy that they fixed Wrigley? Are we not happy that they do everything they do with the field?
Wrigley's great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You make it, and so the option on there
again. They own Wrigley Field. They bought all the land next to Wrigley Field. They control it all. You can't do that at Soldier Field.
The city could give the Bears control. They could work out a thing where
they're not going to.
Well, then that's on them.
It is on them. That's why the Bears are moving.
Well, okay. Well, then, city, if you want the Bears here, give them part ownership in what this is going to be. Have them pay for part of what the dome would be. Have them pay less than what they're going to have to pay out there. I understand that this is all the way gone, and I thought the biggest thing in the announcement yesterday is we are not talking to anyone else while we are doing this.
Well, they legally can't.
Right. Well, but they underlined it again.
Yeah.
We're not talking to Chicago. We're doing this.
All right, we got about 40 minutes now to cram into 8. PointsBet Sportsbook is counting down the days until the football season with a new offer every day until the season kicks off. From now until September 8th, PointsBet Power Hour will unlock a new daily offer from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Time. That's this window we're in now. You still have a few minutes if you want to take advantage of it today. Sign up for PointsBet now using code CHGO to also get risk-free bets up to $2,000. And we also need to tell you about this awesome Bears offer that we have going on right now through Sunday. If you bet $51 or more, or bet, does it have to be 51 exactly, or can it be more than 51?
Good question.
I believe it's 51 or more. I'm not positive.
Okay, so what this, at least 51. Shout out Pat Fitzgerald.
Bets.
Pre-game.
Butkus.
Slightly.
Or live during the game. Not only do you get a CHGO membership, you get to choose between those awesome sweatshirts on the screen, plus you get the QB1 shirt on top of it. Awesome deal. The best deal you're going to get right now.
Giving it away.
Make sure you download the PointsBet app today. Use code CHGO to take advantage of this limited time offer. If you have a gambling problem, want help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. Also need to tell you about a new partner that we're very excited about, 5 Iron Golf. The nation's leading indoor golf and entertainment experience now has 3 locations in Chicago: River North, The Loop, and my home neighborhood, Lincoln Park. 5 Iron features the good vibes of golf. And some neon lights. You like the little neon lights?
Yes.
And street art centered around TrackMan. TrackMan's awesome, by the way.
Don't know TrackMan.
Well, it basically tells you if you're good or not at golf.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not.
World-class well, that's why they have instruction there.
Good.
Get some lessons. We're probably going to go over there and check this place out ourselves here, maybe even join a league. They have custom club fitting, a full bar and restaurant, making it a one-of-a-kind experience for golfers and non-golfers alike. You could play around, take a lesson, join the league, or spice up your next date night. Go to 5irongolf.com. That's 5irongolf.com to check it out. Fall leagues kick off starting September 12th. Listeners can get 30% off their registration fees with promo code CHGO30 at 5irongolf.com/leagues. Again, 30% off registration fees. Promo code, write it down, CHGO30 at 5irongolf.com/leagues. You can join as a team or as a free agent. All right. Whew, I feel like I'm coming up for air here.
This has been a lot of a show so far.
There's a lot crammed in here. We might have to roll longer. Do we have Nick yet, or are we still waiting?
Nick dialed in. Now he's off, so we don't
honestly,
have him
that's
yet.
okay because we have more to cover here before we check in with it. We'll dive in here with Nick in a second.
Which way you want to go?
With the latest from Hallis Hall. I kind of want to do my prop bets for the season.
Really?
Can we sneak those in?
I'm
here
all day.
I have the graphics, so we can do that, or if we could hold that for another day. I don't know how many. What do we got? I don't know. Do we?
Well, is Nick ready or not?
No,
or is he
really.
doing the Greg Braggs where he just keeps dialing over and
over
and over again?
He's doing. You should see the technology him and Will worked out for this one. He's got 2. He's got his Samsung green bubble phone.
Yep. Which
he's
we don't
also
like.
got the tablet going.
It's not a phone; it's a camera, by the way.
Yeah, and so he's got audio from one, and then video from the other. However, I can't even show the video, so I gotta find the old voice of Nick thing to pop on screen. I mean, we could we could try it though. I mean, I don't know how to do this. We'll see how. I don't know which one I choose.
Why don't you just tell us when he's ready to go?
Well, let's just throw him on screen. Maybe
let's see how this works.
See what happens. I don't know. Let's see. Which one do I do though? Do I do that one?
We're on the fly here, Carm.
I
Hey.
got it, and
Hey, Nick, can you hear me? No. See, it's the other one. Yeah,
Hear
I gotta
you.
use
Yeah.
the- Oh, wait, there
Oh.
he is. But see, now you're just a big black circle, so this is interesting.
Black hole.
All right. Well,
we
I
can see him, so
Yeah.
he does exist in video form, but
Well,
just
yeah, Nick. So you could talk, and we'll
He's
say
legally
hi.
not allowed to be on video from where he is.
Oh, is that right?
That's the problem. So we could just do a voice of. Can you still hear us?
We'll
Okay.
make this work, you guys. Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Great.
All right.
There he is. He's
Nick,
he's
what
an
did you
at sign.
learn from House Hall today? Locker room, Eberflus. We talked a little bit
Yes.
about the captains. We got that. But what else do we need to know?
Yeah, I think the big thing, and just kind of listening from Eberflus and Justin Fields, because they went back to back there. When you look at like the captains, he talked about Justin Fields and like what he showed. It's like everything you want to see from a player that's taken that step in year two. We heard that right when Eberflus got here, and Justin was also asked about the leadership. He's like, well, I do it by the play that I show each and every day. And that's kind of what made him be one of those captains. He was also asked about like the motivation factor for Justin Fields with the 49ers obviously not drafting him. And Eberflus said if you can regulate that motivation, that could be a good thing. As opposed to Fields, who kind of was asked that same question. He's like, he didn't care about it. He didn't care about where the draft and the 49ers, where they selected him. Or didn't select him, I should say. So it's just another game in his eyes. But that's a very Justin Fields answer.
I don't believe you.
yeah, that would be a lie.
Yeah.
Is what that.
And
would
then
be.
he.
What's
No,
the deal
yeah.
with
I mean,
Lucas-
that's
what's
kind
deal
of
with
the
Lucas
feeling that
Patrick?
everyone was kind of feeling. Yeah, Lucas Patrick. So Justin was asked, have you practiced with him or got snaps from him? And he said no. He said at this point he hasn't, and it's all about whether if Lucas Patrick can feel comfortable, can feel healthy, as they kind of approach this game one. So he hasn't had any snaps with Justin Fields at this point.
Ship sailed. We don't need Lucas Patrick's in week one, at least in my opinion. Sorry, like you're.
Well, if he can snap, I still think he's the best center.
But
And you roll with him.
I don't. But he's not going to be able to, right?
I don't know. We're gonna find out over the next couple of days. They're just getting on the practice field today for really what is
Okay.
technically the first. I know it feels like it's already Friday, guys, because everybody's looking forward to this game. We've been waiting for it for like a month and a half, but really their first game week practice is today.
Okay, fine. I'm jumping ahead, but I don't think that's going to be a possibility. I feel like they're going to put him on. Listening to Eberflus on Tuesday, Monday, it felt like he's going to put him at guard. That was my read. And
So you're going to move a captain out, or are you going to move Tevin Jenkins
they're
out?
going to move Tevin Jenkins out. I'm going to say
That would be the first problem I would have, really, with everything that they've done. Do you think that's a realistic possibility, Nick?
Man, it kind of seems like that wouldn't be what the Bears want, especially what Poles told you on the Hoge and John's podcast, Adam, about feeling this is home and things like that. So I don't know if that's going to be the best move. But Eberflus said that once Lucas Patrick got into the lineup, all combinations could change, right? So I guess we can't rule it out a possibility.
I think they're playing games. I think Lucas Patrick starts on Sunday
At center.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean,
or he's inactive.
I'm okay with that if that's how it goes. That's
Actually,
fine.
I don't know, because he might still be like your best option of backup guard if you need him. But yeah, I don't know. That's just where I am on that whole thing. We'll learn more here over the next couple days. There's still time. Games on Sunday.
There was one quote that's making its way around Twitter that Fields said about Braxton Jones, Nick, saying that I hope none of y'all, he's talking to the media, expect him to win every rep against Nick Bosa, and that he's going to be real with Braxton during the game. I don't know what being real with Braxton other than play better right now so I don't get killed means, but I think Fields is bracing to get cracked at least a couple times here on Sunday.
I mean, if you're playing Nick Bosa, I think that's what you gotta think, right? That's realistic. But he was pretty candid with that, though, Mark. Like, he's a 5th-round draft pick, and he's blocking Nick Bosa. That's not easy for anybody. So he was real about that answer. And the thing is, what they're going to have to do is like give him some help. Justin Fields talked about that. That's also going to go with Luke Getsy and the scheming. So there are things they can do to help out Braxton Jones, but he's being realistic that he's probably not going to win every rep against Nick Bosa.
All right. Again, we're talking to Nick Moriano from House Hall right now. And we have a super chat up right now from Willie. Says, Nick Bosa, over under 2 sacks on Sunday. Well, let's set it at 1.5.
This is going to be a huge test on Luke Getsy and
Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach, and the players.
And how they scheme this. Because you can't just – we're not going to be able just to sit back in the pocket and be like, hey, go block that dude. This is going to be a scheme thing.
That's why I'm going to take the under, because I don't think they're going to let that happen. I think they're going to be smart enough to move him, take him away, run boots away from Nick Bosa. Wherever he lines up, go the other way. By the way, Eric Armstead on the inside you have to worry about too.
Right. And by the way, if this was last year, I'd take the over by a mile.
Oh, yeah.
You'd set it at 4.
Well, first of all, I would set it at 4.5, not 1.5. But good news, everybody. It's 2022 now. Nick, anything else that we need to know about? Did they talk about the field at all?
Yeah, they did, which was pretty, and Matt Eberflus talks about the grass and the field, and he said he's not a grass expert, which I think we all probably could have known before
Jarrett.
He said that.
Jarrett's our grass expert.
But it's going to be a nice surface, he said, Matt Eberflus, and a fast surface. And actually, this surface was the one that they use at the practice fields in Indianapolis. So he has some familiarity with this grass and what it could do for this Bears team. But he was when somebody mentioned like, hey, the Bears' home field is not known for allowing teams to play fast. He's like, maybe that could change.
Well, if they really did put in the shorter Bermuda grass, I'm telling you, it is going to be fast. When I said this earlier on the show, when you go to the south, you go to Florida, and you see these, it almost like lays out like it's field turf, and it's crazy. It just looks so different. It is a faster track. And if it holds up, it's going to be a lot different.
It almost feels like they should get a practice day down there. I'm assuming that can't be done because they got to get the sod in there and all that stuff.
No, but I'm guessing that Cairo Santos will get an opportunity to kick on it.
We got to get the CHGO helicopter over Soldier just to see where Cairo's
I'm having Cody Parkey memories right now of helicopters and him working on his kicks in the middle of the night. All right, we're winning. Bears. Let's go.
All right, Nick, good stuff. Anything else before we let you go?
That's about it, you guys. I'll have some tweets out from who's practicing today, so make sure to tune into that if you're looking to who's practicing.
Yep, all the coverage at allchgo.com. There will be more later today, and of course, we'll get you updated on the social media, on the injury report, and everything. Cover it all again on tomorrow's show. Nick, appreciate you, man.
All right, you guys.
All right, there he is, Nicholas Moriano. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Nicholas Moriano. All right, another new sponsor we got to tell you about.
All right.
You ready for this one? It's called Gametime. Gametime is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. If you ever dreamed like me, like Mark Carman, where you can just sit courtside of the U.S. Open. If you've ever dreamed of sitting in a seat that you never thought you could, you don't always have to call Nick Wright. You can just go on to Gametime, check it out. 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate. You will not find a better deal this season than working with Gametime. Okay? It's created by the fans, for the fans. It guarantees the lowest price. If you love CHGO, then you're going to love Gametime. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description right here on this YouTube video. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Gametime app and score the best seats to all your favorite events. Again, right there in the YouTube description. Check it out. You might, if you're listening to the podcast, go check that out too. And make sure you use Gametime.
I got the Gametime app right here, and you can get into the Reds and Cubs tonight for $4. So $4.
That actually seems like a lot.
Let's. Well, tomorrow day game, Lawrence, $1. There might be a couple fees associated with that, but $1 right here, Gametime. Let's go.
All right. Also need to tell you about CHGO, all our great content. Newsletter went out this morning to our members. Make sure you check that out. If you're not signed up, which you should be, go to allchgo.com. Get the membership. If you're already a membership, you can sign up for the newsletters. Kevin Kadick's Chicago newsletter goes out every Monday morning. We got the Bears Things newsletter going out on Wednesdays. And in there, I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. I still want to sneak these in today because I think Friday's show is going to be extremely busy.
Has there ever been an easier read than Kevin? It's just it's such a friendly, loving.
What, Kevin Kadick?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a just digestible.
What?
I think you just said.
You
I think
feel-
you just said
you-
Kevin is digestible.
It's so.
Carm, you already got the job. You don't have to suck up
it's
anymore.
so warm when it comes in the inbox. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. This was part of what you can get in the newsletter, which there's more on the grass. There's more on the stadium matchups for this game, which I promise you we're going to have more of in the next couple days as we break this thing down. But I have settled on my 5 NFL prop bets for the season that I'm going to play on PointsBet, code CHGO. Make sure you sign up. All right. These are the props bet odds, what they're offering, and they're based on value. Okay, so these are not like, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, these are stone cold locks. What I'm telling you is, based on what I think is going to happen in the season and the odds you can get on PointsBet, these are the ones I would play that logically to me, you're getting value. I think you can make some money here, okay?
This is exciting.
Number 1, this is my favorite play. The Steelers to make the playoffs at plus 310.
I'm writing these down.
I'm not necessarily saying that I think Mitch Trubisky is going to lead the Steelers to the playoffs, but are you ever going to get better odds than the Pittsburgh Steelers to make the playoffs than 310? Okay, Mike Tomlin has never had a below 500 record in Pittsburgh, and I realize they lost Ben Roethlisberger. Did you watch Ben Roethlisberger the last couple seasons?
Pretty terrible.
And
He couldn't move. He could barely throw. And you could say, oh, yeah, but they got Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky made the playoffs twice in 4 years with the Chicago Bears. He's now with Mike Tomlin.
I smell
and
what
the
you're cooking.
Steelers. They have the best player on defense. Well, I don't know. Okay, one of the best, T.J. Watt. Aaron Donald's still in L.A. But you get what I'm saying. There's plenty of talent there for them. You're getting this value because everyone's saying, oh, Mitch Trubisky's replacing Ben Roethlisberger. And I think they're forgetting that Mitch somehow made the playoffs twice with what he had here in Chicago.
You're betting on arguably the best coach in football with an incredible track record, and you get the benefit, if you want to have it, that you can say you were all in on Mitch and just enjoy that process. I love that play. That's fantastic.
You're never going to get better odds than that on the Steelers to make the playoffs. All right, number 2, Chiefs plus 170 to win the AFC West. Okay, I get it. The AFC West is loaded. It's going to be hard. This is probably still the best team in football, and you're getting plus juice on this.
Yep. A lot of people like this one.
This one's easy. Patrick Mahomes has never, this is one of the crazier stats in football, he has never lost a road game within that division.
And this year, with the whole Tyreek thing, I just think there's a weird extra something motivation going on with the Chiefs that we can, hey.
Take the chalk, win your money, move on.
Broncos are overrated. I can't imagine, despite everything that Russ has done, that he's going to step in there and get that done. And then you're talking about the Raiders and the Chargers. What have the Chargers ever done?
It's going to be tough, but that's why you're getting the value you're getting here at plus 70.
Yeah.
Plus 170, I mean.
But look, I like the Chargers. I don't like them more than I like the Chiefs. I mean,
right.
Are you
going to bet the Raiders over the Chiefs?
Right. So I like the play. You're 2 for 2. I'm with you.
I like the Broncos. It's going to be a fun division. I'm going to be tuning in every week. But
I don't love the Broncos.
My guess is at the end, Patrick Mahomes is going to still be on top. All right, next one. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in that awful Bears-Seahawks. Well, the Bears were good in that game, but the Seahawks, didn't they just look horrendous? I don't understand anything going on there. They don't have a quarterback.
Who won the quarterback battle? Was it Geno or Drew?
Geno Smith starting at quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't even understand why Pete Carroll's still there. They're clearly rebuilding. They're trying to get a good draft pick so that they can replace what they just traded away in Russell Wilson. Everyone's talking about the Bears tanking. I don't think they're paying attention. Like, that's happening in Seattle here. That plus 650 for Seattle to have the worst record, I love that.
It's not bad. I'd put this number 3 on your, because Atlanta, Houston. But okay, I think as far as the angle that Hoge is going for here, value.
This is what it is.
Plus 650, fair play.
Okay.
3 for 3. Go
Next
ahead.
one, Vikings plus 210 to win the NFC North. Look, there are some strong analytical numbers that actually show that the Packers overachieved more than any other team last year. Pythagorean, all that stuff that's out there. It's good stuff. They actually overachieved last year. They're due for regression, both when it comes to turnover margin and the schedule's harder. Okay, so if the Packers come back down to more like 10 wins, which I think is a possibility. They don't have to. Anybody watch the Packers? Every ball got thrown at Devontae Adams. They don't have him anymore. I realize they have Aaron Rodgers. There's got to be some regression there.
I don't hate this play either. I don't. I like what you're doing.
And the Vikings have a ton of talent. Justin Jefferson. They still have Dalvin Cook. Adam Thielen, I would call a sleeper in fantasy right now. Kirk Cousins, and with Kevin O'Connell there now to unlock that offense. I think that they're due for a step up. You combine that with Packers step down, and oh, by the way, I'll give you this one right now. I think the Vikings beat the Packers in Week 1. So you're not going to get better odds than you're going to get than right now on the Vikings plus 210 to win the North.
I'm a Kirk Cousins fan too. I know it's
Yeah,
Yikes.
That's a stupid statement.
Is it really? Because people will say like JP earlier, or maybe that was actually Corey Wooten yesterday. I forget. Somebody said something positive about Ryan Tannehill. So I don't do 37 touchdown passes to 7 interceptions. Is he? Explain to me why everybody in the world just wants to make Kirk Cousins out.
He doesn't win the big games, but that's okay.
Fine.
He can still win the division.
We're not talking about winning the big games. We're talking about plus 210 to win the North.
He needed to finally play the Bears on Monday Night Football to actually get that first Monday Night win.
I don't have any problem with Kirk Cousins as a nice, solid, mediocre quarterback in my NFL. Keep going.
All right, last one for you. You'll love this one. Bears to make the playoffs.
Ayo.
Again, I am not predicting this to happen.
Are you playing to the crowd right now?
I have said on this show that I think that there is a path to 9 wins. A possibility. I'm already walking that back a little bit. I spent the weekend saying, I should have done 8 to 9, 8, 9, not 9 and 8. But if I want to sit here and say there's a possibility of even winning 8 games, okay, let's not forget you get an extra seed in the playoffs now. If they were to potentially get to 9 wins, which Corey Wooten said he likes that to happen too yesterday when he was on with us, you'd be stupid not to bet the Bears plus 425 to make the playoffs, because 9 and 8 in the new playoff format, especially in the NFC this year, is possible to actually get in.
But you're also teeing up a great option, which is bet on things that you like to see happen, which makes your Sunday more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And if you're watching this podcast, you
go 13-3, Mitch. Do it.
You and everything
13-4.
Everything that we see literally
Still
every day. I've been here 2 days, but but it's just a stream of Bears fans who want to believe in these Bears.
Yeah.
So you get to live each week with a little extra rooting. And if they actually do come out and beat the Niners, you can scream to everybody, I got to make it the playoffs at 425. I got to make it the playoffs at 425. You can start already planning that extra trip, you and the family, next thing you know, or you and yourself, whatever it takes. Let's go. I like it.
There it
it's
is.
a fun play.
No, that's exactly what you should. If you're going to bet season-long prop bets, you should not do things you don't want to happen, because then you're just going to be miserable all year.
Right.
And also, if you're going to do it, you should use PointsBet. And if you haven't signed up, check out that sweet deal we got going on through the game on Sunday.
I need that hoodie on the left, and I've become a crew neck guy in recent months.
Well, you have to choose one if you get this deal. You choose
I know.
one
You
of
got to
those
pick
two.
between it.
But you also get the QB1 shirt.
I feel like as an employee here, though, I might be able to score both somehow.
Maybe.
Can you go double time, go two $51 bets, get the varsity on one, and
Well, I
then
think
move over to the
if
crew?
you have
Well,
a,
if you have a second, maybe if you have like your dog sign up for a account.
Well, you can have your wife sign up.
There you go.
You can have your, I don't know.
Yeah, right there. Let's
speaking-
get
speaking
Poppy
of
the
the dog.
puppy in there. Who got to mention it? Has there ever been a cuter dog?
a
I mean,
pretty cute dog.
seriously.
It's a pretty cute dog.
I mean, look at. I mean, just wants to drive with me, wants to play.
Why are you so serious in this photo?
Because I
Are you stuck
wanted,
on
he
the
was-
Kennedy
I
and
think he was
traffic?
I
driving.
wanted to let Poppy to know that
He,
you got
he
to
was headed
focus.
to Arlington Heights.
You got to focus when you're on the road, Poppy. And Poppy is very excited about the new grass at Soldier Field and the grass that she had on her balcony when she was learning her 1s and 2s. Way to go, Pop. Congratulations.
I still love that you had actual sod on the deck.
Wasn't my idea. That came from
And it lasted
wife.
2 days.
We're gonna get. I'm paying for grass on the deck. How much is that? It's $30 a thing. Have you lost your mind? We're paying $30 for grass for the. She needs it. Okay, great. Let's do it. Pop. You get prime grass.
Okay, I love dogs. The things that some people do for their dogs is so over the top.
Settle down, cat guy.
It's ridiculous. Come on.
I'll do anything for my dog.
For the
My
record,
favorite are the people who walk their dogs in strollers. Now, there are some dogs that are probably old enough they can't walk anymore, and they still need to get some fresh air. I'm cool with that. But there are others that just do it because I don't know. Why do they do that? There's no logic involved in that.
You just got me in a deep dark hole of just thinking about Poppy having a bad stomach and what we had to do with that grass and rolling it up and getting it in bags and getting it out of there. It wasn't easy over here, Hoge.
All right, let's talk more about this some other time. I think we should go. I got to do a
Thanks for
Blackhawks
watching.
pod in
Lawrence
13
has
minutes.
to go to the bathroom. We're out of here. Follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge. He's at the Carm, at Nicholas Moriano. Good stuff. And Jarrett Payton, man. At Payton's son.
Turf expert.
He came ready to play.
He had some. How about the mayor reached out? That was some news. The mayor's calling the Payton family.
Hey, Jared. It's Lori.
Can I actually give her credit for that? That's a good move by her.
Yeah. Listen, it ain't popular, but right here, Team Lightfoot, baby.
All right.
I enjoy
Threw me for a loop there.
the theater of Lori Lightfoot has been amazing.
Goodbye, everyone. Will and Nick will have you covered tomorrow with their old school Chicago Audible preview show for week 1. We'll
Let's
be
go.
back Friday with an extra bonus Friday show for you. Plenty more content coming this week at CHGO. Talk to you later.